I wish I knew how all more Christians thought about what's been going on as far as Christians, trying to follow Jesus, trying to love God with all my heart, mind, soul, and strength, and having to deal with, at least in my mind, the onslaught of the culture coming into my life. As far as, I guess it's really, through social media, through looking at the news, through listening to people talk. Everywhere you go, people are talking about politics and stuff, and it's just it's so hard. I have all these. Honestly, I don't feel like a Christian sometimes when I start to take in all this information, because I don't feel full of love and hope, and I feel full of fear and anxiety and anger, and I wonder, like, what's wrong with my, am I being manipulated by my social media feed, because I tend to see all this negative stuff, people stealing, people bad mouthing America, people bad mouthing Christians, people talking, people stabbing each other, fighting each other, lighting each other on fire on subways, sneaking into the country, breaking laws, everybody trying to, nobody's loyal to, like, our government, all these people saying terrible things about the United States. And, it's like, I struggle with it as a Christian. I'm like, well, I grew up, my whole family has served, almost everybody, all the men in my family have served this country. And I've always been a really believing that this is the best chance we have here in the world to live a good life, to have opportunities. And I never thought we were perfect, but I always thought, this country's been really, really good to me and my family and to so many people. And I thought it really, I feel invested in America, and I feel it really upsets me when I see people, instead of just trying to change the country or trying to make the country better, they just seem to want to tear it all down and destroy it, and then I get angry at these people that I don't even know. And then I'm like, well, I'm just like them. I'm a sinner just as much as anybody else. So who am I to judge them? This is like stream of consciousness thought, but this is the stuff
No, it's
that
great. Please.
rages through my head. I'm like, well, who am I to judge them? If they're sinning in one way, I'm sinning in another way. I mean, I got to beg God for mercy for myself every day, to say, Lord, please forgive me so who am I to harbor? Obviously, I'm not supposed to harbor anything against them. But then again, I wonder, should I be involved in the culture war? I mean, in what way? Like, should am I just being manipulated? Am I doing what whatever the social media feed algorithm wants me to do by getting all riled up about it and being scared and watching it more and more? Am I being uncharitable? How do I, it's like, I feel like at one point I felt like I had answers to these things. I feel like, you reminded me of a lot of stuff the other day when I called you, and I was kind of telling you how I was struggling with all of it. But, I don't even know if it's real or not. I'm not even sure if the stuff that I'm seeing, how real it is, because I really only meet these people that want to take over our country or destroy our country or kill Christians or steal stuff from the store. I only see these people online. I don't really meet anybody that says these things. Like in real life, it's different. So I know that on a one-on-one basis, it's different. But online, it seems so terrible. And then I watch all these podcasts and things. And so should I just cut off from it? Because I've been wanting to, just not watch any of it. And I think, well, I mean, obviously, God's in control. He's got something going on. So, I mean, you got to trust God. I mean, it's not out of his control. And God doesn't, like, care I don't believe he cares about America any more than he does any other country. It's people that he cares about. So, but I was picturing, well, what if there's like a civil war in our country? What if, what would we do? As Christians, should I fight to, and fight for what? Am I fighting for, a political system, a party, a country, or should I fight for? And then you say, well, fight for Christianity. Well, what's that mean? Like, Jesus was about forgiving your enemies and loving your enemies and turning the other cheek and trusting in him, and even not seeking vengeance, but seeking letting God do what he's got to do. I've been torn between what the two things are in that. I don't like feeling, I guess ultimately I don't like feeling manipulated. I feel like I'm being manipulated. I feel like I'm being by my own fault. I'm letting all this information in, but that's the kind of place we're in the world today, where our social outlet more and more and more is online, is watching the news and looking at Facebook and following social media, and um that's where you get outside information. And so I don't know, man. It's not been pleasant, honestly. I haven't really felt that pleasant about it. But I guess it does. I do feel very thankful that I can. I know I can go to Scripture and I can look at what the Bible says about the world and about man and about God and see the truth. And then at least I have that, and I thank God so much for that clarity. But how to take that and deal with everything in a modern sense to filter it through and try to figure out where my place is and what I should be doing. So I've been struggling with that lately, honestly. I've not been filled with it's been wearing me down a little bit, honestly. So I don't know. I wish I could. I'd like to hear what other people are doing about it. Because I just can't believe that we should be filled with hate and fear and anger. I'm like, this is not good. I want to be able to, I want to show Christ to people. I want to, shine the light of the Holy Spirit around the world instead of being angry and fighting with people. And I'm not really arguing with anybody. I've erased a few posts that I was gonna put on. I believe tell you that right now.
That's maturity.
Yeah,
That's
right.
growth.
I think it's something's cathartic about you write a 10-minute post and then you go, nah, I'm not doing this one. Yeah, but it's something getting it out. But I appreciate being able to call you and get a. I think we've checked each other on this before, and
Yeah, sure.
I'm glad that you got somebody that can say, "Hey, Tone, relax a little bit, take a break from the social media." So I don't know. What do you think about all this, man? Have you heard anything from other Christians? How do they feel about it?
Well, I mean, I haven't, and that's part of the problem. It's just what you're talking about is most of our social interaction is online.
Do they ever
Whether it
talk
be.
about it at your church? I was don't mean to interrupt you, but I was wondering if they ever
No,
talk.
it's a fine question. Tony, my church is very small. There's about 30, 35 people, and just in all seriousness, most of them are over the age of 65. I know even my pastor is like, "Hey, I made a social media post. Like, please check it out."
Oh yeah,
I'm one of the guys I'm always liking his stuff. Just trying to support like he supports me, and that's part of this Christian brotherhood. And I say this meaning Christian family, men and women included. And that's why we're talking about this because this ain't nothing like new. This isn't like a Tony problem.
right.
It's definitely a world problem. It's not even an America problem. It's a world problem that
Yeah,
all of our information is derived from online. That information is carefully selected and designed to inspire fear and anxiety and divisiveness and immoral activities.
yeah,
If you pay attention to algorithm on any social media outlet, YouTube included, that you view, And a lot of us, we view it for social interaction. Some of us do it for entertainment. There are various reasons. But I don't believe that social media is inherently evil.
Mm,
I get value from it sometimes.
right.
But I guess I should mention here, that's why I'm moving into using Act Social more. They're my people. ActSocial.com. It's a social media platform, all Christ centered content, all denominations, lessening the barriers, focusing on Christ. So Act Social, I'll leave the link in the show notes. But it's a problem that we all have, but every other social media platform is designed like this.
Right.
And when you and I'll take it a step further. So you guys know the YouTube channel. Please follow Creating Greatness Podcast. You'll find it. You, me, and Jesus, you'll find it. But as I'm doing this, I'm trying to figure out how to do it well. There's different videos and classes and courses and people that are successful at it to talk to you about it. And I just stopped worrying about it because a lot of it was copy and paste and idea farming, which is basically stealing. And I'm not into that. If I'm not authentic, then I'm not nothing. I could be zero follow. I don't care. I got to be me. And I encourage others to do the same. But in one of these videos, I think it was the one that finally set me over the hook. Or finally set me over the hill. I go, I'm just not watching these videos no more. Was you want to evoke emotion? You want to make them feel something. Now that aspect of it, I go, okay, yeah, that's part of it. I mean, you enjoy something when it evokes some kind of emotion within you. But then they go, the big ones are fear. Uh, They didn't say anxiety in that word, but basically that's what they were saying. The
Right.
thumbnail. That's why you see that clickbait. The world's terrible. This person did this. Da 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 da, and all these different things. So once that algorithm takes hold, it gets a little nugget of what is inspiring the biggest emotion within you that's going to cause you to seek more, whether it's fear, whether it's anxiety, whether it's lust. Um, it's going to show you more of that. These things are designed to do that. And once that algorithm got a hold of you, and I'm saying this based upon experience, I'm not condemning Tony, I'm
Yeah.
not condemning anyone who is having a problem with social media. I mean, because there's other aspects of it. People that aren't fearful, anxiety over their Christian faith or over their life and livelihood in America. There's people that follow it and just have negative impact just based upon their comparison with everyone else, and everyone's smiling, looks happy, and has their loved ones, because that's all people post. It's a highlight reel. It's not the blood, the sweat, the tears, the pain, the anguish, the frustration. It's the I went somewhere today. We bought new outfits, and here's my family.
Yeah.
uh that's great. I do that stuff. I'm not condemning
Sure.
that either. But
Right.
on the other side of that fence, if you're sitting in your PJs and you're scrolling Netflix that day, and then you see that, a lot of people turn to depression. I know these. I've spoken to people like this. Then they turn to depression. Yeah, everyone's happy but me. Everyone has a lover but me. Everyone has a family but me.
Yeah.
Everyone goes places and goes on vacations but me. So there's so many different aspects to it, and I think you just have to really become aware of your mental state before and then after. And then if you're leaving social media feeling uplifted, you've seen some good Christian content, you've seen a motivational video, you've seen your friends doing well and you're happy for them, then you can continue on. It's one big reason why I tailored my feed. Anything that made me anxious, anything that made me depressed, anything that made me fearful, I unfollowed, I deleted, I unfriended, I blocked, even if I had to. And once again, this is me speaking from experience, because during the election cycle last year, I was a hot mess. I was seeing, the border crossings and illegal things happening. I was seeing transgenders doing kids things in the library. It had me thinking everyone was transgender. It had me thinking everyone was a pedophile. I was scared to death to let my kids out of my sight.
Right.
Now, should I be mindful of that? Should I be aware of that? Absolutely. But I don't see any transgenders around me. I don't see any pedophiles that I know. I mean, I'm just looking out my window. I'm just talking about my street where my kids are, and I don't see anyone looting on my street. I don't see, all the different things that were giving me anxiety from social media on my street, on where my kids are playing. So that helped me. And then, like, from tailoring the feed, this is what helped me. I did do a detox. I did do a 30-day detox, just totally eliminated from my life. I'll share my experience with that as well. Didn't even impacted my life positively. But once you do it out for like a day, like, you don't even miss it. It's really, if you think about it, it's pretty ridiculous that we go to be entertained by this nonsense, because so much of it now is AI generated. You don't even know if it's real. You ask a question, is it really real? Well, here goes two flips of that coin. It could be AI. The voice could be AI. The picture could be AI. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
And then the other side of that coin is it a psyop? Is it something that the media is presenting to you? Is it something that they're uh, emailing out to all of their influencers to talk about and expand on and come up with their own theories on?
Right.
Then you have people in the comments and you have hackers making up different things. It's just like I was telling you last week how, that saying, the devil's in the details.
Mhm.
It's it's the details that Satan goes to and how he's infected his web in every single aspect of modern life, to manipulate, like you said, humanity. And it starts at the top level and filters down. And if we're not strong in our faith, putting on the armor of God every day, being aware of our thoughts, our mentality, how we're feeling inside and how it's impacting us, and how the things in the world are affected by evil, and how to stay aware and safe from it, and lead your family in the right direction. It's so easily uh, entrapping if you're not so dutifully disciplined on away from it. Now you can totally separate yourself from society, a monk in a cave, and I hope you take your family, and then you could just meditate and pray and be in nature, and you don't have any of these worldly concerns. But is
Right.
that really the answer either? Because for us, and this is another question I have, like, should we be involved in politics? Like, to me, it's like, yes, we are to be, how's it say, of the world, or
But not
in
in
the
the
world,
world.
but not of it.
Yeah, in the world, but
How
not
do
of
we
it.
influence? How do we shine that light of Jesus? How do we influence our peers if we're not involved in politics, if we're not involved in our community beyond the church? Because if we're
Right.
just judging our brothers and sisters, communing with our brothers and sisters, but we're not going out into the world. I mean, we addressed that last week on
Yeah.
evangelism and sharing the gospel. So then there's that. Um, I think, okay, so all that. So I do think that less stimulation is the answer there, but not a total detachment, because then how do we shine our light? How do we spread the truth? How do we share the gospel?
Yeah.
And then lastly, I'll say part of this is what we're seeing and viewing is in large part manufactured by the system to keep us fearful, to keep us anxious, to keep us compliant, to keep us divided. And then the other aspect of it, I mean, it's all in the same, is the spiritual warfare that we are here to do.
Right.
So, how do you look at that? Is it literally, okay, if this happens, and running these scenarios, which some scenarios can be beneficial if they're lightly touched upon, like, okay, what would I do if this happened? Or what would I do if that happened? I did it a lot. It's why I started a farm. I go, what am I going to do if our government, who's super shady, just decides that food is no longer available, or it's out
Right.
of my reach to afford organic stuff? At least I can have some.
Right.
Um, but so we don't dwell on these scenarios, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it's nice to think of them. Like, I know you thought of some scenarios as well. But do we would we physically fight? Is that something that we're really thinking about in our mind? How would we do it? What would we do it? Where would we do it? Where do we even begin? But to me, I just take all that out of my mind. I just take it all out of my mind, because if you focus on you becoming strong in your faith, firm in your faith. You seek knowledge and understanding like silver. You uh, start from within and discipline yourself and structure yourself and stand firm on the foundation of Christ. You take that one step further with your family. You take that one step further here with my brother in Christ and you all listening here. You take that a step further in your church and you're involved there and you're impacting that. Then any situation that may evolve because of your, you're grounded, you're standing firm in your faith, you're practicing all the things you need to practice to. I was talking about this morning with the Agora Guild. Shout out to Agora Guild as well. AgoraGuild.com, men's group, networking group is. My life purpose is to narrow that gap between the person who I know I can be, the person that God put me here to be, and the person that I presently am. So here's my values now, and this is what I know God's truth is. This is what I know God has given me the potential to be, and my life's purpose is to close that gap. And that's all I'm on. And if I continue closing that gap, any situation that arises, I will be prepared to handle it. And not only that, I will see it coming with clarity that's given by the Holy Spirit. If
Yeah.
I'm doing what I need to do and following the word and living in his truth. And I mean that's a lot, but that is the way I look at it now. And it's not me standing on righteous high moral ground. It's me running myself through the ringer last election cycle and coming out the other end and hopefully sharing it with you guys in hopes that I can help you through it, man. I've been there.
Yeah. It really does. It's almost like I feel like it is a battle. You do definitely feel like you're caught up in like warfare, in like you're being attacked and that there's things to sort through and that there's opposition to being the kind of person you want to be. Like there's a lot of things coming at you from weird angles that they don't look bad on their face, but where they ultimately lead if you let them into your life and if you pursue them, they kind of take you away from what you really want, which is to be more like Jesus. That's all I really want to be is more like Jesus. And it's so easy to get distracted because I mean, I don't know. It really is. It's kind of seems silly, when somebody like if I call you and you go, "Hey Tone, wake up. You're in the matrix, dude. Relax." You feel silly at first. You're like, "Oh man, like how'd I get wrapped up in this? Like this isn't my reality. I have all these people in my life that I know how to treat and be good with, but I'm actually being overtaken by this screen that I'm looking at. Like it's kind of weird, but it's so prevalent that it almost feels like it's got to be real. I don't know, man. But yeah, I take your advice for sure. Maybe a 30-day detox. We'll see if I can do it. I'm sitting in that chair at the dialysis for like 4 hours, and it helps to have your mind distracted a little
Sure.
bit.
Yeah.
But I could listen to, I don't know. There's a lot of silly stuff you can get on there. You know how the algorithm isn't what you like. Like I don't. I like watching dog videos. Dogs doing funny stuff. That stuff is cool to me. I think it's funny. But then all of a sudden I'll see a dog attack someone, and I'm like,
Uh,
but that's horrible. Like to me,
yeah.
or two dogs fighting or something coming up, and I'm like, I
Like, why
hate
is that
being.
even online? Like, why is that
I
even
don't
on?
even know. I can't. I
Yeah.
can't stand the fact that dogs hurting each other, or
Yeah.
animals getting hurt. That's terrible to me. Like it makes me ill. Like I'll think about it for afterwards. And I'm like, how the hell did that get on my feed? I'm not looking up that. I don't want to see that. But there's something there that
Yeah.
I don't want to see. Like, or that I even seen this stupid video where people are fighting bugs. I don't even want to see bugs fight
Yeah.
each other. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, why is that online? What kind of sick freaking people are there? Like, why do you want to see death and all that on
Well,
there? But
yeah, I mean, I think that's part of the problem that we're dealing with here because not
yeah,
only are we dealing with our faith and our mental health, we're dealing with part of their side of the war is instilling, first, they instill the things we spoke about, fear anxiety, but then they instill anger and righteous fury
Right.
because of the things like you just saw. Like, why is that online? Who are these people doing it? Why are they allowed to do that?
Yeah.
The different attitudes and perspectives that you see, and you mentioned it earlier, that are degrading to our country, not uplifting. It's like you would think that we could at least agree on things that boost the economy, that fix the infrastructure, basic fundamentals.
Yeah.
And they can't, because there are people within our government that are paid by the enemy, bought off by the enemy, and their job is to instill or to seed chaos and to degrade and break down. And then you think, these are the people we trusted. These are the people that we put in place to take care of us and look over things for our children. And you can become very angry. And then how do you remain pursuing, or how do you remain pursuing that Christ-like behavior, or that model of attitude and kindness and generosity and love, when you're feeling so angry? And then you actually now, because of online, because of social media, you have a direction for your anger. You know who you're angry
Right.
at least in a general way. And then also, because online, you kind of have an idea of what these people look like. So then you're at Walmart with them, you're in the grocery store with them. Some
Yeah.
of them
Right.
are at your church,
Yeah.
and you can already feel an anger or a coldness or a hardening of your heart to your fellow man, your fellow human.
Right.
And this is, to me, the biggest problem. Maybe not the biggest problem, but to me, that's something I struggle with. It is a big problem. Uh, I don't want to be hateful, angry,
Sure.
on the verge of you know more,
Right.
because of what I'm viewing online, which, and something else that I've learned too, is something that I've learned time and time again. And if I'm ever gonna I don't know if I'm ever going to hold on to this one, is you can't judge a book by its cover. Because
Sure.
just like I'm saying, online showing you these people have this ideology, they look like this person has this ideology and they look like that. And these are the conflicting ones, that the ones that evoke emotion, the ones that get me angry, the ones that get me upset, the ones that maybe want to bop someone, right? And then I see these people and they fit the bill. And then there's some of the nicest people that I meet. And I just go, once again, what am I really viewing online? Is it really real? Is it a fringe? Is it these fringe groups, these 1%, these 2%? And now it has me thinking that it's 70%. And I'm all alone, being a
Yeah.
God fearing, moral, family, wholesome life. Like, I have wholesome morals now. I went through the seedy part, the dark part of life, and as a youngster, I'm mature now. I'm grown. I'm not fully mature. I'm still working on some things.
Yeah.
Someone farts, I'm gonna crack up right now. Um, but yeah, that's all I hold dear. I hold dear wholesome family values. Uh, I don't want things on the forefront of media and TV and all these things that are not in alignment with that. If there's an aspect of the world that operates with that, fine. I understand the duality of man, that's never going to go away, but our society has put it on the forefront. I could just turn on my TV right now without going into any apps, without going into any different areas. I mean, the main screen of my TV, and it'll show me some homosexual TV show. My kids turn on my TVs. But this is because they normalize, this is what they do. They normalize all kind of different behaviors, where it's smoking, vaping, drinking. I watch TV shows, the guy's drinking alcohol the whole show. And you go, come on, this guy's like a militant, on point sniper spy, and you're telling me he's drunk this whole time. And I'm
Right.
supposed to believe that he's also still operating the best as all these other spies, and winning all these different conflicts as sipping whiskey all day. Get the
Right.
heck out. But see, they just promote these ideas. They normalize sin until you're at the point where you're the guy or the woman or the family with the wholesome morals and family values, and you're the weirdo. And
Yeah.
because that's part of the angle, that's part of the pursuit, that's part of the warfare that we're experiencing. And I apologize. This was my challenge with this topic, was to not go all over the place with it because there's so much there, and I've been quiet about it for so long,
Sure.
in an attempt not to offend, not to uh, make people more divisive. We're here to shine light, to spread the gospel, to talk about truth, to bring
Yeah.
people closer to Jesus. But you're right. It is an extremely important topic, and I would love to hear from the people listening.
I would
Please
too.
hit me up. Give me your perspective. Give me your thoughts.
Well,
Agree
one
with
of
us.
the
Disagree with us.